that were presented by Luke Wroblewski. He does a lot of presentations. Obviously, he wrote the mobile first book. Great stuff. I highly recommend that you check out his blog, his presentation, and the book. Okay, so some ways to get your content, it's not just the website, content mobile. So first way, if you're an Acquia customer already, Mobilify or MoveWeb, there are third parties that will take your content, they'll provide you a tool to transform it, they'll even store it for you, serve it up, make it quick, so you can have a mobile website. You don't have too many templates in probably half a day. That's pretty easy. I don't have any examples of those, but there's plenty of those on the website. All right, separate templates. So I also had a slide up here with Jeff Eaton sitting over throwing a giant burrito at me, maybe with diapers. But I think that there is a case to be made for customers or for users where you don't have the time, or you may not have the budget, or you know your users. You say, I only want to serve up a piece of content for this demographic, or I already know that my users generally only use iPhones or iPads. So we had a customer a while ago. It's a small site, but we built them using jQuery mobile module and Drupal, just a regular site and then a mobile site with their branding. So it was a pretty simple exercise. We didn't do responsive. It was just, here's your full site. Here's jQuery. It's going to strip out all of your branding. And here's your user experience. And we focused it. The landing pages just has 4 buttons. And they're able to browse the information they can. We really made it smaller. I looked at the stats just last night. Their mobile users view 8 times as many pages on that site as their regular users. 8 times. So page views per visit 8 times as many as the regular site. So responsive. There's going to be a lot of talk about responsive. Responsive really is the way to go right now. So here's some examples. There's some patterns. Since you didn't talk about patterns, I'm going to discuss a few. Generally, as you can see, this is a publisher here in Chicago. Large site, has right rail. As you go into a tablet, the right rail disappears. And you start seeing this a lot in different sites. And in the mobile, where you're going to remove the teaser content, it's just the title. Here's another responsive example. It's a travel site. It's very heavy in images and graphics. So we did the same thing. You start seeing that responsive with that pattern. The right rail disappears. You start moving to a single column on the tablet, and then just images here on the mobile device. Maxim magazine has the same approach. And here's another pattern for a inside page. Images are starting getting smaller, and here's where it starts coming in. This focus on content is pretty evident. The mobile device really shows me most of what I just really want to see. I want to read the article. It's really on the mobile device. The other stuff, maybe it's important to the publisher. Maybe they want to present you with some relative content, which is important, but it's really fluff if I'm just focused on reading that one article. So responsive is great, but I don't think it's the end all. For example, if you do want to serve up your content through their refrigerator, what are you going to do? You're going to build a map. No, I think the great thing about building applications is that Drupal makes it accessible to you via services. So I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to go quickly to an extreme example of what we had done for one of our clients, and we really stretched the possibility of what Drupal can do. So we used Drupal as a framework, and we built a dispatch system application for a taxi company just north of here in Wisconsin. So we replaced this proprietary hardware with iPads that are sitting in their cars, are communicating to the dispatch center real time, updating their location so they can see them on the map. They're updating, the dispatch can assign them rides, they can accept and decline. Here's a regular Drupal view of all these information. So a couple of takeaways. Content is still king. we used Drupal content management system as a framework. But this should give you an idea that you can do this with your content. You can send it back and forth. It's possible. We did this almost 2 years ago in 2 months with a developer and a half, 2 developers. They're great developers. So it's totally possible. And guess what? We used it with the skill set that we already had in-house because we used hybrid development. So you can build applications. You can take your content out of the Drupal silo, I shouldn't say the Drupal silo, the Drupal CMS, and deliver it to your users wherever they may be. Now we chose to build a mobile application, but in the future, Drupal does a nice enough job where you can deliver your content to that refrigerator. We also build a consumer app on top of it. So the iPad was a hybrid device. The consumer app is native, and we're using. So as a consumer, if I need to get a cab in Madison, I give it my location. So it has a lot of information about me already. It sends out a request. Once the request is accepted, I can actually track the car that's coming to pick me up. All right. One really out there thing, I think I have time. So this is an experimental app we're working in our office. It's an iOS device, augmented reality app. It basically gets my location. The device tells me which way I'm pointing. I know it's kind of blurry, but it's basically as I'm pointing in a direction. When it gets my location, it gets all the bus stops and train stops around me. And as I'm pointing towards a train stop, it gets the next available train coming, and it tells me which direction it's going to, and I can tap through and get a map on how to get there. Okay, so who wants to sign up for augmented reality app with us right now? Yes, so I get it. We have reality, we have budgets. I have a budget, fortunately. But the point that I'm trying to demonstrate here is some of the points that have been made and will be made. That is, content is first. And you're in a really good spot because Drupal allows you to take that content out of that CMS and be able to present it and make it accessible wherever you want to make it accessible. So more of good news. Public Drupal profiles. I know there is some debate about whether you want to start from scratch or use profiles. If you download Open Public, you basically have an out-of-the-box responsive site right now. So if you have a limited budget or you're building a smaller site, or if you want to do it right away, you basically start plugging your content in there and it's responsive. They thought of everything for you. Breakpoints, all that good CSS, JavaScript stuff that you need. It's there. Now granted, you still have to consider what content is displayed in the beginning, and that's the most important part. Prime your sites with so you can prime your site. Our site is also being primed. Omega is out of the box. You can install it. It comes with a lot of the technical stuff that you used to have to think about. It's already there. Just another point about the mobile stuff. There are folks not only contributing to Drupal contributor modules, and which are then being moved into core and 5. There are folks that are building stuff for the applications to be able to get content out at the end of Drupal. So just noticed this last week. We can now take that augmented reality app, build a native, and plug and make calls without doing much code to get data out of Drupal and display, build a campus tour that's going to, as I look around, it's going to tell me information about different buildings because I have this stuff there. So last slide. Growth is explosive growth in mobile devices. The hockey stick, the exponential growth is an opportunity. You may, if you already are choosing to go responsive or you are going mobile, so that's great. You may be the first of your competitors, or you're basically better serving your users because you are thinking about what's important, performance and so on. Constraints, that's also a fantastic point because you're really minimizing what's important and focusing on what's important to your users and to you to communicate, or that access of new devices via the browser or not, give you the ability to innovate and create really cool stuff. So Drupal, good news, Drupal is a multi-platform CMS. And I'm done.
Good.